Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This article is called Loose Molars Equals Loose Morals by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. I've always been afraid of the dentist, just like I've always been afraid of great white sharks, tarantulas, and Oprah Winfrey. However, unlike sharks, spiders, and Oprah, who in reality have never really harmed me physically, just emotionally, the dentist actually has caused me specific bodily pain. When I was about 14 years old, I needed to have my wisdom teeth pulled. My Northern California hippie parents were either too paranoid I wouldn't wake up or just too cheap to pay for general anesthesia. So instead, I received 32 local shots in my mouth, 3 of which went directly into the roof of my mouth. It was excruciatingly painful. Even today, I can't sit in a dentist chair without feeling again all of the anxiety I endured when I was 14 years old. Fast forward a few decades, and my son needed to have his wisdom teeth pulled. Due to my own experiences, I wanted to ensure he didn't suffer. I told the oral surgeon, give him the works. I'm willing to pay for pre-medication to relax him before we arrive at the doctor's office, a topical cream before the IV puncture, nitrous gas to get him to chill before you put the IV in, the best cocktail on the market to put him out, then name brand painkillers for when he wakes up. I want my son to feel so good about this procedure that he will actually be disappointed he doesn't have more molars to be removed just so he can experience this for a second time. The doctor looked at me as if I was insane. I didn't care. I didn't want my son to suffer like I did. The day of the surgery, my son and I drove across town and met with the nurse. She wasn't going to institute my full crazy request for absolute pain reduction, but she assured me my son would be fine, and then she kicked me out of the room. No crazy, overprotective dads allowed. After an hour, the nurse came out and called my name. I quickly headed back to see how my son was doing. I saw him in the dentist chair, awake but pretty out of it. He was certainly still under the effects of the anesthesia, with swollen cheeks and gauze stuffed into his mouth. The first thing I noticed about my under-the-influence son was that he rejected authority at every turn. No matter what the nurse asked him to do, he would rebel and do the opposite. If she told him to keep the gauze in his mouth, he would spit it out, tossing bloody gauze all over the dentist office. When she asked him to sit in a wheelchair, he slurred, "I'm good, I can walk." The whole thing was sort of funny, but after about 30 seconds, it became more problematic. My son on pain medication was sort of a jerk who couldn't stand authority. After about 10 frustrating minutes, the nurse coaxed him into a wheelchair, put gauze back into his mouth, and wheeled him to the car. As she and I attempted to get his groggy, yet anarchistic self into the front seat, I could see that the nurse was losing patience with my son. She just wanted to get this nihilistic teenager in my car and wash her hands of him. It was time for her lunch break, and my rebellious and intoxicated son was the last thing in her way. She stuffed an envelope in my hand, filled with care instructions, prescriptions for pain medication, and more gauze, as she said, "Good luck." It was just my son and me on the drive back across town. I was negotiating traffic with one hand and using the other hand to attempt to keep my son from spitting out his gauze. With the gauze in his mouth, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. But I could tell whatever he was trying to convey, he was using a fair amount of foul language to do it. Something, the effing gauze. Apparently, he really hated the gauze. "Son, you need to keep that in your mouth to stop the bleeding." He mumbled something, how effing long? The nurse said 6 hours. A rage ensued from the right front seat. I don't know what he said specifically, as it was unintelligible, but I could discern it was a rant filled with many expletives. He started to repeat 2 specific sentences over and over. I'm thirsty, effing gauze. It seemed like I hit every single red light in town. And with every red light, I was rewarded with more obscenities from my drug-induced teenage son. Similar to the nurse, I was starting to lose my patience with this teenager as well. I just wanted to get home and pass him off to my wife, whom I love. She could be the one to take care of him and listen to his offensive tirades. At the house, my wife asked me how our son was doing. I told her. He had his molars removed and somehow all of his morals taken out as well. She looked confused by my explanation, but then my son started babbling and cursing at her. "Oh wow," she said. "He certainly doesn't come out of anesthesia very well." I told her, "He came out just fine. He just came out angry and with a foul mouth." One of us needed to stay home and take care of our son, a young foul-mouthed Cat Williams. and the other needed to go get a prescription for Vicodin filled. I quickly volunteered to go to the pharmacy. I needed a moment away from my adult/child son. When I got back, things hadn't gotten any more G-rated. We explained to our son he could only take his Vicodin after 4 hours, to which he responded with bile and anger. What, you think I don't know how to tell time? You think I'm not capable of effing telling time? My response to this was to take one of his Vicodin pills myself, because it was going to be a very long recovery. By the way, my son is currently on a steady diet of liquid foods and profanity.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails Podcast Road Show. We are at Tobin James Cellars and doing a little live show here out in the middle of Central Coast, California.
Yeah, we're in their parking lot, Harvest hosting.
This is the post-BottleRock Music Festival critique, wrap-up, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's what we're doing.
I just called the wine episode.
Oh, the wine episode, which is appropriate because BottleRock was all about wine.
Yeah.
And we are definitely drinking wine right now.
We're at Tobin James Cellars, where they sell wine and make wine. And the wine is good.
So awesome.
And they let you camp in their parking lot.
For free.
Which is so nice.
It's so good.
I love that. But it is hot.
A little bit warm here in Paso Robles, California.
I'm sticking to the seat while we podcast. It's hot.
Well, you got a cold bottle of Riesling right there. And is that keeping you cool?
And you know what's cool is we had this great tasting room associate, Kay.
Kay was awesome.
And when she heard that we were spending the night, she got a little more liberal with the pours and with the tastings. And the Riesling, I don't know if you saw this or not, it wasn't even on the tasting list. She just pulled it out as an extra.
Like a liberal pour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She was like, hey, I think you'll like the Riesling. And I was like, I do. I'm buying a bottle.
Yeah, you're supposed to get 6 tastings, 6 different wines.
Yeah.
And then she's like, this one will be 2.5, this will be 3.5. And she's like, you guys are spending the night. Don't worry about it. And then she brought out the good stuff. She started bringing back some reserve stuff for us.
So I did a girls' wine trip back in December. And we came and we Airbnb'd in Paso Robles and we, got the limo bus and we went to, I don't know, like 5 or 6 wineries or something like that. It was really, really fun. Really great. But I had been advised, do Tobin James last. Tobin James is the party. It's the very last winery as you're exiting Paso Robles. Like if you're going back to the valley and you're leaving the Central Coast, it's the last winery. They stay open an hour later. They are definitely the best priced. Like we were paying like $35, $40 a tasting. Tobin James, $20. And they waive that if you buy a $20 bottle of wine.
Deal.
So we came here for the girls' trip and it was our last winery. I don't even remember. When we got here today, Kay was like, have you been here before? And I was like, maybe. I think so.
My phone says I was, but I have no recollection of it.
There's pictures of me here. There's some receipts. So I didn't even remember it.
Well, it's a super cool place to remember because it's like an old-timey saloon. Even though it's wine tasting, they don't take it so fancy. They have this old-school Western saloon where you stand up and taste wine.
Yeah, it's definitely the most unique of all of the wine tasting that we've done just because it looks like that old saloon. But the next morning, when I woke up at my girls' trip.
Well, let's be honest. You didn't wake up in the morning.
And we're packing up our cars and stuff and we're saying goodbye. And there's this bag of wine that's just sitting and like no one's claiming it. And then finally someone said, Sarah, don't forget your wine. And I was like, that's not my wine. I didn't buy any wine. And they start laughing and they're like, yes, you did. You bought the most expensive bottle of wine at Tobin James. And I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't sound like you.
Everyone knows that Tobin James is the best bang for your buck. Like, why would I buy a really expensive bottle of wine? I'm just going to buy the $20 bottle.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Waive the tasting fee, right?
Yeah, you're a pretty frugal chick.
They're like, no, you bought the $150 reserve bottle of wine. I was like, I don't even drink fucking wine. And you're telling me this is mine?
So you get drunk and then you get fancy.
I guess so. And so I kept telling them, this is not mine. This is not mine. And they're like, pull out the fucking receipt. It's yours. And look at what you spent. And I was just like, oh, shit.
I saw the receipts for that and I was like, looks like Robbie's buying some more race car parts after that little girl's trip.
Yeah. It was awesome to come back this afternoon and see it fresh, see it so that I could remember it. Like I walked in and I was like, oh, it's like deja vu, but I don't really recall anything.
It's old-timey.
Yeah. And then we got this great tasting from Kay, but I knew like just stay away from this bottom bottle, like the list that they give you. It's like everything is so reasonably priced. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, $150. I was like, don't even look at that. Don't look at that.
So we didn't do that today.
No.
We did not spend $150 on a bottle of wine.
No, we didn't.
So it was free, basically.
We did not buy a $150 bottle of wine.
There's a rumor I've heard that I might be a member of the Tobin James Cellars Wine Club now.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
That's what I was getting at.
I don't remember that. You're saying that I am?
Yes.
Well, I blame Kay because she did a very good job. She kept bringing out the reserve stuff. She's like, hey, this is our GSM. I like this. This tastes very good.
When you get to Tobin James, they give you a piece of paper and there's a list of wines on the front and a list of wines on the back. And they tell you pick 6 for your tasting and you can pick any 6. Now I know myself, I learned like whatever you taste you're going to buy. So don't taste the expensive shit, just taste the cheap shit. So on the front page, I think the most expensive bottle of wine on the front page is maybe like $30. So I just stayed on that front page. Then I saw you turn it over.
I flipped it over right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go to the reds.
And you start looking at like the reds and the reserves. And I was like, no. Flip it back over. We're over here. And then Kate started with this whole other, offering.
Well, it was a secret menu.
Oh,
I found out. Yeah. She's like, this one's not on the menu. This one's this. So this is your 4.5.
I forgot that she was doing that, like the 5.5. And then she's like, hey, you guys are married. You don't mind sharing a glass, right? So she's just like pouring and she's like, okay, now you try his. Like she was keeping track of it. I wasn't.
Well, she's good at her job.
Now we're tasting 3 and, we had to go in a row.
I think the beautiful thing about wine tasting is that they know, like, look, if we pour you a little extra, you get a little loose with the wallet. So the game is get the patrons drunk, get their wallets out. Then they'll buy a good bottle. Or maybe they'll just win the wine club forever.
But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I was like, Kay, I'm on to you. I've been here before. I know this.
I know this game.
I just kept circling the wines that I liked and the wines that and I just was staying in that $20 range.
Yeah, and you kept recircling them.
Yeah.
I like you at these tastings because you make all these crazy notes all over your paper, like you're going to refer to them later.
I do.
I'm like, when are you going to look at this again?
No, like a heart means I love it. I'm going to buy it right now. A snowflake means I don't want it right now. I want it in the wintertime because it's like a winter
you like a red
wine.
in the winter.
Yeah. So that's for like my later reference, like in the wintertime. What do I like? And then a star also means I like it and I should buy it. And a happy face also means I like it and I should buy it.
Well, your paper had a lot of stars and happy faces and hearts on it.
So I was like, okay, we want the Chardonnay, we want the Rosé, we want the sparkling. And then she came out with like the 2.5, the Riesling. And I was like, well, that's not even on the menu. So of course I want
got to get the secret menu shit.
Yeah. So I was very busy on the front page.
Well, she recognized who I was. She's like, this guy's a drunken idiot. So she's like, here's this secret one, the GSM. I was like, what's GSM stand for? I don't even know. That sounds so interesting because I want to learn about wine. She's like, well, GSM stands for Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre.
So she pulls the bottle out and she's telling you, she's like, okay, this is a GSM. And she tells you the percentages. It's got 19% Grenache. It's got 22% Syrah. It's got 35% Mourvedre. So she says that. And then you look at her and you go, what's GSM stand for? And she looked at you. She broke a little bit. Like she was like so kind and sweet and just had a smile on her face. But for like 1 second, I saw her go like, you dumb motherfucker. I just told you. Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre.
You probably saw the sparkle in her eye. She's like, oh, he's so drunk that I'm definitely going to get him in the wine club. And then she goes, oh, by the way, and this is where I really got sold on it because I like foul language. She goes, yeah, GSM to us here at the cellar, we call it good shit, man. GSM. Yeah. I was like, oh, I got to get some of that. She goes, we'll mail it right to your house. I was like, let's do it.
She said to you, well, the GSM comes in our club and do you want to be a club member? And I was like, no, like we don't fall for this shit. We don't have timeshares. Like we're not going to be club members. And then she brought out this like beautiful brochure. And as soon as she opened the brochure, you were like, yes, sign me up. Here's my address.
I was like, here's my credit card. Here's my address. Sign. I'm like, fine, send it to me. But it was a good deal. It's $205.
You get 8 bottles of
wine.
Yeah.
We know how much some of those bottles cost.
Yeah.
So basically the fact they're going to ship it to you, it's a great deal. Yeah. It's a fantastic deal. And my future daughter-in-law, Libby, loves wine. So I'm sure she'll be very happy that I'm a member of the Tobin James Cellars Wine Club.
It wouldn't be a good deal if they sent me the 8 wines that I picked, because I picked like the $18 and the $20 bottles. But they send you, like you would pick the $58 bottle and she's like, yeah, that would come in the wine club. So then it's a great deal because they're only $25 a bottle.
The ladies took good care of us after we bought some bottles. They were kind of closing up. They said, hey, go outside to our beautiful little area. You can sit outside. We got a really nice charcuterie board. We got a couple glasses of wine. We went out there. We went drinking. They held the rest of our bottles in the back and kept them chilled for us. Then as they closed, we thought it was kind of over. We were going to hang out in the front. And then the staff came out and just partied with us.
I love your toxic optimism. They're like, yeah, they came out and partied with us. I think they were like looking at us like, it's time to go. Like, this is staff time now. We're having a staff meeting. Bye-bye. And we were just like, well, we're
I was in
sleeping
this
here
chair
tonight,
first.
So yeah, I was like, this is pretty cool though. Do you do this every single night when you're finished with work? You just grab a bottle of wine and debrief the day, the work day?
That's the life of the tasting room gals, man.
Yeah, no, she was looking at us like, you mean not everybody does this at work? And I was like, well.
Yeah, as you as a teacher, if you sat outside and drank with the children, very frowned upon.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, when I was a highway patrolman, if I got drunk on the side of the freeway with other people that I arrest for DUI, very much frowned upon.
Maybe we chose the wrong careers.
Yeah, Yeah, tasting room would be a good gig.
I know.
I think you'd be really good at it.
I don't have the palate for
You're not a
it.
sommelier.
They all taste pretty much the same to me. So when they start saying like the tasting notes, when they go, oh, this is a buttery and this is oak and this is, and I'm just like, tastes like wine. Pour me some more.
Yum.
It's wasted on me because they all pretty much taste the same to me.
Well, it was good. And wine gets you drunk fast. That is the thing. Yeah, I definitely have. I might be allergic to stuff.
You can't handle your wine.
I get sloppy, dude. Signing up for wine clubs and all kinds of stuff.
We came out from the tasting and I was already like, dude, you're fucking trash. And you're just like, open that bottle of Chard. I'm like, okay. And I just watched you just get drunker and drunker. And now we went through the bottle of Chardonnay and now we're onto the bottle of Riesling.
Yeah. We're working through our bottles.
And I'm thinking I'm going to drink the rest of this Riesling pretty much without you.
Oh, are you now?
Yeah.
You cutting me off?
Maybe.
Man, you're like in charge of me. He can't have the wine club. He doesn't get to drink this. Boy, you're a good time.
You got the wine club.
Yeah, but I'm getting grief for it for sure.
So we had a very pleasurable, just, I don't know, like a wine down.
I like that. Wine down.
Yeah, a little wine down with our tasting room associate, Kay, and then the other two that also came out, Lori Ann and Charlene.
Obviously, we're drinking wine, and wine's the theme right now of this particular episode because we came from BottleRock, the music festival in Napa, California, where we camped in my parents' office parking lot, downtown Napa. Had great access to the venue. 3 days of festival. We had in-and-out privileges the whole time. And what is your review of BottleRock, Mrs. Kreider?
Before we actually talk about the music festival, let's talk about the camping spot.
Yes.
How long has that building been in your family?
We've owned that building since 1981.
Long fucking time. And you and I have taken our RV to Napa so many fucking times.
So many times.
And we've parked and paid in RV spaces.
Yes.
And then we pull into the office.
Yep.
And it's full fucking hookups.
Apparently, I didn't know this, but there's full hookups at the office.
There's full fucking
and I've
hookups.
been ignoring that my whole life. I had no idea.
Well, first of all, you were like, the RV's never going to fit. And I was like, well, my brother was here and he said it would. So pull it in there.
I was like, is your brother going to do it for me? Pretty optimistic.
Sure enough, you rounded the corner and you're like, oh, it does fit. And then I said, my brother also said that is a sewer hookup thing, a pipe thing.
Yeah, 4-inch pipe.
Yeah, you boys figure it out. So I was like, get to it. Hook us
Water,
up.
power, and sewer, full hookups.
Yes.
Right by the venue. It was awesome.
It was like one of the nicest campsites I've ever been in.
Now, why it was nice was because the camp host,
Oh, yeah.
my mom.
We checked in on Thursday.
Yep.
And the camp host invited us in, your mom, and bought us dinner.
Yep.
That was the first time.
How many
ever.
times do you go to a camping spot and the host buys you dinner?
Yeah. And so she bought us dinner and then we didn't finish it all. There was leftovers. So Friday morning she texted me and she said, hey, do you want to come in and eat the leftovers? So that was like super, super nice. And then Sunday I needed to do some laundry. So I asked the camp host like, hey, what's the laundry situation? Like quarters, bring my own soap or whatever. And she was just like, come on in. And she loaded our laundry up. About an hour later, again, she texted me. She's like, you want me to just move your laundry over into the dryer?
This is some good service.
Yeah, this is great
You never get
service.
that at any other campsite.
Right. So we could have been doing that this entire time that we were camping in Napa, but you didn't know.
Yes, I did get the RV in, but I did have to do like the 100 3-point turn, like back and forth, back and forth. It was a little bit of talent to get the big RV Tiki into that spot.
But you have talent. So
You didn't really help me. You're just like, you need some help, honey? I'm like, no, just stay out from underneath the tires. That's all you need
But
to do.
you're trying to tell me the fact that you did it successfully means that we couldn't have done it this whole entire time? I don't understand.
I appreciate you having the confidence in me.
Yeah.
It just took a 60-point turn to do it. So, yeah, it worked out.
You still did it. So now we can go stay there every BottleRock.
Yes, next year we'll be back as long as the office isn't sold, which it's right now currently for sale.
Yes, we finally realized it's the greatest parking spot in all of the Napa Valley with full hookups and free laundry, and the host buys you dinner, and she's selling it.
Why it was the funnest spot was it's on the main thoroughfare of Napa, California, which is Jefferson Street. When I was in high school, we called it Cruising the J, cruise up and down Jefferson Street. Well, after the venue every night, we would just sit in front of our RV and put our fire pit out, and we just got drunk and just laughed at everybody while they were stuck in traffic trying to leave town. So it's kind of like a fuck you, ha ha. If you were here, you'd be home by now. I guess you're not.
Yeah, I know a lot of car traffic, a lot of Uber traffic, a lot of ped traffic.
Head traffic. People are like, man, I want to join your party.
Well, I did tell your mom as she's showing the office for sale, she needs to tell potential buyers income opportunity. You can rent this
full hookup spot.
full hookup
for
spot
BottleRock.
to my son and my daughter-in-law.
We were so close to the venue in this particular spot. We were probably closer than the talent. I know where some of the hotels they were staying at. They had to go farther than we did. So Justin Timberlake was inconvenienced while I was just walked on down and hang out in my RV parking lot with my fire pit and my relaxing chair, my cold beverage.
So 5 stars to the RV spot and the host.
Thank you for dinner. Thanks for doing the laundry.
So now we can actually get to the music part.
Yes. 3 days. Started on Friday.
We started on Friday. What time do you think that the festival like kicked off? Like around 1?
Yeah.
1:30 or so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got there. We're like, okay, let's go. We're ready.
Let's do it,
And
baby.
I mean, we had that nice dinner on Thursday night. We got the leftovers.
We were carved up.
Yeah, we were ready
to go.
So one of the first artists that we were going to see was E40.
Yes. Now, one thing I do want to mention, though, is because we're so close to the venue, we know that drinks are usually pretty expensive in these venues. We pre-gamed at the RV the whole time. Then we walked a drink to the venue.
Yeah.
So while we were walking across the street, the California Highway Patrol was there on overtime, getting people to help cross the street, which is very nice of them. I felt guilty because I had an open container beverage in my hand.
You felt guilty?
A little bit, yeah.
You didn't look guilty when you said, let me go walk over there with this open container and you take my picture.
Well, I did do that because I thought it would be hilarious.
I felt like you were just flaunting your privilege.
They knew who I was. They've read my book, Cadet Blues. They wanted to take a picture with me, and they took a group photo with me, which is cool.
Oh, did they flag you down? Did they say, hey, are you Rob Kreider, the author of Cadet Blues?
No, I reminded them, hey, you probably know who I am. Rob Kreider, the author of Cadet Blues.
You stumbled over there with your red solo cap. Hey, have you guys read Cadet Blues? I'm the author. And they were like, sure you are, buddy.
Not with that long hair, dude.
Take your long hair and your open container and get the fuck out of here.
So we moved on. That was nice. They didn't arrest me or make me pour my drink out, which I thought was good public service.
The walk from our perfect camping spot to BottleRock was exactly
one solo cup.
One red solo cup.
I was taking my last gulp as I walked in the venue every time.
Yeah, there was like the same trash can that we used every single time.
Yeah, some people use like miles or feet. I use solo cups. Like how far was it? Like it was one solo cup walk. That was a good walk.
It was a good walk. Yeah.
Because if it's 2 solo cups, you're fucked.
Well, if it was 2 solo cups, I mean, we'd be double fisting it. That's like kind of
a problem,
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We'd have to stop and go to the bathroom.
1 solo cup is the perfect walk.
Because I also, after 1 solo cup, I need to use the restroom. So we got there just in time.
Put the solo cup in the recycler, go pee, bam, let's go see E40.
Yeah. So this one was your choice. I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
You were like, he's from Vallejo. I grew up listening to him. Let's go see E40. He's going to be great. And I was like, well, okay.
All right. Hometown flavor.
Yeah, I mean, we're here for music. I'm here for Green Day mostly, but okay. Like, they're not on until 8. E40's on at 2 o'clock. Let's go check them out.
So we roll in, and at 2 o'clock, the beats start coming on. There's a DJ up there. He's got a Macintosh laptop. The beats are coming.
Well, as we were walking to the stage that E40 was on, you could hear the music. And again, I didn't know who E40 was. So I hear music that I recognize. And I'm like, oh, sweet, this is E40? And you were like, no, this isn't him. And I was like, well, what are we listening to? And yes, everyone was like, they were doing like their own like Kendrick Lamar, like walk towards.
Just beat bopping
everyone
around.
was like dance walking towards the stage. And it's like these great beats. And then I look at the stage and I'm like, well, who's this guy? Is that E40? And you're like, no, he's the DJ. And I was like, oh, okay. The DJ is pretty good.
Yeah. The DJ's here to get us hyped up, you know? So I thought he would hype us up for about 6 minutes and then E40 would come on stage.
Yeah.
6 minutes went by. Every single song that was played, you go like, is this E40? I'm like, no, you like the song because this is Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
This is Snoop Dogg. Like, you don't know E40 songs. So the DJ keeps playing. 45 minutes of DJ. No E40. To drive from Vallejo to Napa is a 20-minute drive. So even if he left at 2 o'clock.
He should have been there at 2:20. Well, and also the crowd that was like so hyped, the DJ really did hype us really good from like 2 to 2:09.
Yeah.
Then from like 2:09 to 2:15, we started to go like, where the fuck is he? Is he coming? By 2:45, the whole crowd was just like, I'm so fucking over this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, we were pretty not happy. So I told you, because you were getting a little bit pissy. You're just like, I'll be yelping this. This is bullshit. He's 45 minutes late. And then I said to you, I go, well, listen, do you like all the songs the DJ's playing? When E40 gets out here, you're not going to recognize any of these fucking songs.
Well, you were trying to do like the rock star thing where you're like, no, like this is cool. Like everyone's going to be late. And I was like, no, dude, it's a music festival. He has to be off this stage by 3:30. He can't be late. Everyone starts on time. Now, I didn't have any evidence yet because it was the very beginning of the festival, but wasn't I right? Didn't every other artist...
Every band hit it within a second. You could set a fucking clock to the band starting on time.
You mean you could write like an entire 3-day music festival schedule and you could count on each artist starting at exactly the right time. So he's acting like he's some kind of Madonna or something like that. And he's the fucking 2 o'clock show on Friday.
People are still at work.
They're still parking their cars.
Nobody gives a fuck. So he comes out 245. At this point, we're hot. You're heated.
Yeah.
E40 is a very large gentleman. He's old and he's fat. I'm not trying to fat shame somebody, but he's fat. As he came out on stage, I thought he might die of diabetes right in front of me.
Well, I've been doing this thing. I don't just judge an artist by how good of an entertainer they are. I compare it to their age. Like, I'm really into age right now. Like Chris Angel, I had to talk about how old he was. Like, he wasn't just impressive as a magician. He was impressive as a 57-year-old magician.
Right.
Lenny Kravitz, 60 years old, still the hottest fucking guy
on the planet.
So you have to...
So E40 is 55, I think,
compare it to the age. I don't know. If I hadn't just seen Lenny Kravitz, or if I didn't see Green Day later in the afternoon, I mean, maybe I would be tempted to be like, I think he's like 57. Like, oh, he's an old guy. Like, cut him some slack. But I'm watching all these other old guys.
Crushing it.
Yeah, crushing it. He shamed me because I'm also fat and out of shape, and he shamed me because I'm also old. But I don't put myself up on the stage and do shitty karaoke to my own songs and embarrass myself.
We left. We said, you know what? There's a cold beverage in the motorhome back home. Let's go back, get some dinner.
Friday was also Public Enemy, and you wanted to see Public Enemy, and then you were like, you know what? I think I've had enough of
hip-hop today. So unfortunately, E40 made me miss Public Enemy because I'm like, yeah, we're out of here. So we came back for the pinnacle show for us at BottleRock, which was Green Day Friday night.
Yeah, Green Day was amazing. They were awesome. They don't fucking age. Billy Joe, I actually spiraled out Friday night after the show and went down like this huge Reddit rabbit hole on if his hair is real or not. Actually, I felt good. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only person in the internet who is like, how's he 53? And he has like no receding hairline at all, like no thinning of the hair.
Looks great.
It's insane. And I'm not the only person who thinks that. Like, there's 10 other people on Reddit who are also impressed with his hairline.
Again, Green Day from the East Bay, sort of a local show for them. Billy Joe came out and made fun of us all. He's like, hey, everybody doing your wine tasting out here for a punk rock show.
Drinking Chardonnay.
It was super funny. They came out like Green Day always does. They were powerful, awesome, hit it, great songs, great set, absolutely smashed it.
I don't mean to keep being like the music festival expert, but...
Well, you've been to a lot of festivals.
Yes, I went to Beach Life and I learned some things at Beach Life. And so then I took that experience and I brought it to BottleRock with you. So what I learned at Beach Life is if you are someone who needs to frequently go use the restroom or go get a refill of her drink or whatever, and you want to be able to find your friend, you put your friend next to the tallest person, and then you can just come and go and you can just always find them.
It's like a homing beacon.
Yes.
The tallest guy.
So I learned that when I was at Beach Life with Rachel. I was like, here, you stand next to this tall guy. I'm going to come and go. I'll always be able to find you. So that's what I did with Green Day with you. You didn't know it. You were like, why am I standing behind these two tall fuckers? Like, I can't see anything.
These are the giantest men I've ever seen. And I'm like, why am I standing behind them? I came and seen Green Day. The guy was wearing a green sweatshirt. I'm like, all I can see is green sweatshirt.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but then I'll be able to find you if I have to leave and come back.
The crowd there was pretty good. They were pretty kind. You kind of work your way in. We gave each other enough space to enjoy and dance a little bit.
Well, you and I, it was about 20 minutes before Green Day was going to be on. And we said, okay, we want to be a little bit closer to the stage. Let's start making our way forward.
Yep.
And that's what you do. You come early.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
You know, there was only two of us. It wasn't like we were a big group or anything like that. So we just kind of like very carefully, excuse me, can I slip in here? And we moved as close as we could until I found two ginormous tall people. And I was like, okay, we're good. I'll be able to find you. Then we stood there for like 19 minutes.
Green Day started on time.
And we held our ground.
Yep.
Other people kind of, excuse me. But once Green Day started.
That's it, folks. You're where you're going to be.
Now, if you leave and come back, that's okay, says Sara, because she has to leave and go get a drink. And
Festival rules, according to Sara.
But you don't come new, or you're not supposed to.
Well, one gentleman did. Now, he was a douchebag. Now, when you think of the word douchebag, you actually look it up in Webster's Dictionary. There's a photo of this guy. Sleeveless shirt, fucked up long hair. He's wearing a pink camel pack, goofy shorts, high on drugs. He shows up. He, unbeknownst to us, is best friends with the two tallest guys in the world.
And it wasn't just him. He came in with his girlfriend, too. So it was like, now it was like two people coming in. We were at maybe like the fourth song. So we had all stood our ground, found our spots. This guy and his girlfriend roll in.
Bashing in.
4 songs in.
Then they stand between the tallest men in the world and us, and then he starts dancing around like a fucking spaz.
Well, and he has a camel pack.
Right, so he's bashing us with his backpack over and over again. He's just rocking out. He's out of control. You grab him.
Well, okay, so then now it's like maybe like the 5th or the 6th song. He comes rolling in the 4th song, beats the shit out of us with his backpack. It's like he didn't know his backpack was back there.
Yeah, he forgot.
And I was like, hey, douchebag, you brought all this water because apparently you think you're going to get fucking thirsty. You keep banging it into me. I wish that I had like a knife so that I could just pierce that camel pack and just watch all of the water just drain out. You thirsty now, motherfucker? So now Billy Joe is doing this song and he's like, hey, put your arms up. And so this guy who was just bashing into us and could barely dance, now he's got both of his arms up and his elbows out and he starts dancing and he's just flailing his elbows. He's not a good dancer.
He's just like a fucking epileptic, just totally out of his mind.
Yeah. So that's when I finally fucking lost it. And I grabbed his elbow and I like pulled it down. That's when I said, hey, you came late and I let that go. You hit me with your backpack about 5 times and I let that go. You elbowed me in the boob and I let that go. I said, but if you elbow me in the fucking nose, I'm not going to let that go. And he was like, that's fair.
His friends looked embarrassed because they knew, like, oh.
Well, because he was hitting them with his fucking elbows too.
So he calms down for about 30 seconds, then he starts spazzing out again. Well, I end up grabbing his camel pack. It was kind of like, the little dogs, instead of a leash, they have like those little doggy harnesses. Basically, when I grabbed it, was like grabbing a little dog, and I just fucking grabbed him. And I started shaking him back and forth. Kind of like you take a dog, like, say, don't take a shit in the house. You're going to fucking kick it on. Put the shit in the house. Get the fuck out of here.
I hope you don't do that to our dogs.
And I just pushed him forward like a dog. He just rolled over. He's like, I deserve this. I'm guilty. I'm so sorry. And he just shoved him into his fucking friends. Like, go fucking knock into your friends, asshole.
Yeah, I was like, hey, tall guys, you figure this shit out.
Yeah, handle him. So the funny part was we assault this kid, and they were like, let's move on somewhere else.
By like the 7th or the 8th song, I was like, okay, let's go get another drink, and let's keep watching. Like, it's pretty crowded up here. Let's go keep watching from the back. So that was Green Day.
That was Friday night. It was awesome. Then we woke up on Saturday morning for day 2, which had a really cool lineup. Ice Cube and Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
Playing at the same time.
Those were the headliners, yeah. So we got there early enough to see your favorite reggae band.
Oh, yeah.
Revolution.
They played on the Verizon stage, and there was a VIP section. If you were a Verizon member, you could get in. And I was always like, I don't know how to navigate this. Too complicated. You're like, it's a QR code, dipshit. Then I'm like, oh my God, baby, you got us upstairs. You got us these VIP tickets. And I was like so excited. I'm like, you got us into this. We're upstairs drinking drinks.
You were so
Look
impressed.
At the stage. It was so awesome. I like VIP experience.
Have you been getting spammed like crazy since then, though? Because I had to sell like all of our data to get up there. It was like, are you a Verizon customer? And I was like, yes. And it was like, okay, click this QR code. Now give us all of your information. Like, allow us to track you across other websites.
Please prick your finger and put the drop of blood.
Share your location. Give us your 23andMe access. What's your mother's maiden name?
Last 4 of your credit card.
Yeah. And so once I filled all of that out, it only took, I don't know, about 12 to 14 minutes to fill all of that out and clicked allow on everything. Then yes, we got to go to the VIP section.
So it was pretty posh up there. I was like, great, man. I'm like, hey, give me a tequila. They're like, no problem, sir. And they're like, that'll be. I'm like, this isn't as VIP as I thought. I got to pay for the drinks up here.
Yeah,
I thought the drinks were free.
No, you could sit
I'm
here.
like, I sold my DNA for this. I'm paying $2.50 for a drink.
Same prices, same drinks, but you could just sit there. When I say Revolution, I sound kind of unenthusiastic, and that's just because
living with me.
Yes, you play it 24/7.
Robbie likes reggae.
I fall asleep to it. I wake up to it. It's just on all the time.
Your brothers told me too. We were on bike rides. He's like, oh, is Rob playing reggae again? I'm like, dude, reggae, man. Let's just chill. It's so easy going. Laid back.
I mean, it doesn't need to be the only genre that we ever listen to. So then when you're like, oh my God, this is everything I ever wanted, and this is what I listen to on Pandora all the time. I was like, I know.
I'm like, you're going to know these songs. I said, play them all the fucking time.
I know them all.
They played great. Revolution sounded good.
Yeah, no, they were actually really, really, really good. And then we went over to see Ice Cube, and Ice Cube was amazing.
Ice Cube is awesome because, first of all, he is the president and CEO of Raider Nation.
Yes, he is.
He was wearing his Raider hat, of course. He just started the party off right away. He's like, okay, there's 2 sides to this concert. There's a party over here. Fuck you over there. And everyone's like, yeah, fuck them over there. Fuck them over here. And I like that.
I mean, except for the fuck you over there part, it felt very much like a middle school rally because that's what we would do.
Yeah, exactly.
7th grade, let's go. And then like 8th grade, we're louder.
8th grade rules.
I don't know how it would go over if I went to the gym and I was like, hey, there's a party over here, 7th grade. Fuck you over there, 8th grade.
They would love it.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably.
San Dimas High School football rules.
So it had that middle school rally feel to it. Well, I love when someone tells me, these are the lyrics, repeat after me.
Yeah, we just go with the program.
Yeah.
Remember, this is BottleRock. This is Napa, California. He's running around singing all these songs, and he's got just a very white crowd sitting on blankets, drinking wine, and just bobbing to Ice Cube's late 80s, early 90s gangster rap hits.
Yes. And I did notice that most of us knew all of the songs and sang along, except there were certain words that this white crowd just wouldn't sing.
That's appropriate. Don't say it. Don't do it.
So you would hear the crowd sing, and then all of a sudden it would just be And then the crowd would pick up again.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
those were the words that Ice Cube gets to say on stage. And the rest of us, it was just like we all collectively just took a sip of wine.
I'm like, oh, this is one of my drinks of Chardonnay right here when he uses the N-word.
Exactly.
We said, hey, that's cool. We got to see a lot of gangster rap. Let's cruise on over to see Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, because they played at the same time.
This was a great moment for me to watch because Justin Timberlake, he has an ex-girlfriend back in the day. Her name was Britney Spears. You chose to wear a Britney Spears t-shirt to the Justin Timberlake concert.
Yes.
Which I thought was hilarious. Now, he was on stage wearing a t-shirt with his wife, Jessica Biel, on it.
Yeah. It's almost like we coordinated.
You've seen Justin Timberlake before. You saw him in Vegas with your sister-in-law.
Yes. So this was my second time seeing JT. And the first time, this was, I don't know, like, that doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. And I've been sworn to secrecy, but I feel like the statute of limitations is up and I can speak freely.
So I think you're not really talking about the statute of limitation. I think when she divorced your brother, you're like, you know what? I'm going to tell that story now.
Yeah. And it's not like, oh, you divorced my brother, so now I'm going to just give up all your secrets. It just means that I'm going to have discretion on which secrets I've given up. And this one I've decided I can tell. So anyways, enough with the preamble. My brother bought her 4 tickets to go see Justin Timberlake. And then he rented a couple of hotel rooms because he was playing Mandalay Bay in Vegas. So it was like, here's a girls' trip to Vegas. You've got a couple hotel rooms to share with 3 other girls. You're going to see Justin Timberlake.
Pretty nice gift.
At this point, I wasn't really into Justin Timberlake. I was like, this is the little curly-haired NSYNC kid. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I didn't get it. You didn't get it either.
Yeah, I was always confused how he was going to make it on his own. I'm like, I was wrong.
Like, I didn't even know the difference between the NSYNC kids. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, okay, whatever. But I'm not going to say no to a girls' weekend in Vegas.
Heck no.
Especially one that my brother paid for. So part of this, I'm going to say, is my fault because the hotel room and the tickets, those were all on her or on my brother, her gift or whatever. But I wanted to do my part. So I got a cabana in Mandalay Bay.
Nice.
And we have since learned if you do a pool day, you don't do anything at night.
Yeah. If you do a full cabana day in Vegas, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
you don't
the day.
pencil things in for later.
As soon as they close the cabana, you go right to sleep.
Well, so we didn't do that. I was like, okay, I want to contribute. I'll get the cabana. So we did a cabana day and there's 4 of us. So it was me and my sister-in-law and then my sister-in-law's 2 friends. And there was this other gal there. She's great. And this was like the first time that I'd met her. And she and I were both trying to hone the same party girl image and identity, which was bad when we were both together in Vegas.
A little competition. Who's going to be the coolest party girl
Who's
at this
the
fucking
craziest party girl, right? And so
Did you meet your match?
We're at the cabana and we're drinking all day long. Well, you know, like the pools in Vegas, they close earlier than you want them to.
They do.
So I don't know, always like 6 o'clock or something and we're getting kicked out of the pool and the bar was closed and last call. This is the grossest thing I've ever done. And I only did this because I was in a who's the craziest bitch contest.
You were playing chicken.
Yes.
With another crazy bitch.
So the bar closes, but we're still in the pool and they're not serving any more drinks. And we've got these floaties. And so we just start floating around the outside of the pool and we just start grabbing beers that have been left over.
Stranger beers.
Stranger beers.
I can't believe I've ever kissed you on the mouth ever again after this. This is the most disgusting fucking story. A Vegas
stranger beer.
Hot pool deck.
Yeah.
Leftover beer.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's for me.
Yes.
You got to be careful because men use those as spittoons. Dude.
Didn't I say this is the grossest thing I ever did? Look, I was
fucking gross.
Extremely intoxicated. And you know that when you're drunk, you make bad decisions. This was a very bad decision. And so we were like, okay, it'll be safe if we don't like lip the bottle. And we're in the pool, so it was okay if you like spilt it. So we were just tipping our heads back and just pouring the hot, nasty stranger beer down our throats. Yeah. And laughing and just, you know, who could find one that still had like maybe some cold beer in it or whatever. Like this is the last thing that I basically remember. So I don't really know how we got from the pool to the hotel room. So now we've got Justin Timberlake. Somehow, so this is all a fog to me. From the pool to the room, getting ready, 4 girls like sharing a mirror.
Makeup, heels, the whole 9 yards.
So we get all ready and Justin Timberlake was in Mandalay Bay, so we didn't have to go far. I had just about to when we're at the venue, I decide I can't walk in heels. So I take my fucking heels off and I stick them behind a plant just outside, like in Mandalay Bay, but just outside.
The main entrance to the venue.
Yeah, the main entrance to the venue. So I just stash these heels like behind a plant.
I'll get those later.
And I go go in barefoot and no one fucking says shit to me. I stumble in, whatever, so we get drinks. We go and we sit down to see Justin Timberlake and it's fucking fantastic. He's phenomenal. I'm like, God, this NSYNC kid is so good.
That's when you're like, oh shit, this guy's really talented.
Yeah. And he does the thing where so he's playing the piano and then all of a sudden he gets up and he stops playing the piano and then he walks on the chair and then walks the chair backwards and keeps dancing. And I was like, that's fucking cool. That chair move is fucking cool. So now I'm into it.
Like, God damn, this guy's talented.
This is great. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sober up so I can fucking watch this, Well, right at the same time that I'm deciding I'm going to sober up so I can fucking watch this, my sister just starts puking.
The birthday girl.
Right in the venue. Right in the stands. On the people in front of us.
Oh, no.
She's just puking.
Oh, God.
And this is why I've been sworn to secrecy. I'm not supposed to for the longest time, I was like, you can't tell your brother. You can't tell your brother.
You can't tell your brother. He bought these really expensive tickets and I didn't even see Justin Timberlake finish the show.
So security shows up because it turns out if you puke in the venue, on other people, security shows up really, really, really fucking fast. So when security came, of the four of us, I was the one who sobered up immediately. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to handle this. We don't want to end up in Las Vegas.
I got this.
Mandalay Bay jail. We just want to exit.
You do not.
And go. So I'm telling security, okay, we had too much to drink at the pool. We're so sorry. We're going to leave. We're staying here. This is our room. Here's our key. We're going back to the room. And security is looking at me and they're like, okay, I think this girl can get these other
get the fuck out.
3 girls out of here. And so I'm on point now. I'm the caretaker and I'm the most sober one. And we get up to leave. And all of a sudden security's like, wait, where are your shoes? And I was like, well, they're behind a planter outside the door.
About 100 yards away from here.
Yeah. Now they're like, ma'am, you can't walk around here barefoot. And I'm like, well, I've been walking around here barefoot since I fucking got here. And they had the little, where they talk into their wrists, the CIA, they're talking in their wrist to have an earpiece. She has no shoes. Over.
The eagle has landed, does not have shoes.
Yeah. Okay, well, it looks like she can get 3 other drunks out of here, except, I repeat, she has no shoes. What do you want me to do about the shoe situation? And then he would listen, but she has no shoes. She says her shoes are behind a planter. So he's like, well, do you know where your shoes are?
We're going to go fetch them and bring them to you.
They're behind a fucking planter somewhere.
One of the longest hallways in Las Vegas.
Between
the entrance
here.
to the Mandalay Bay concert venue.
Yeah. And I'm like, plus, those heels were probably $12.99 from Payless. So they could have been stolen.
Yeah,
by now.
somebody stole them already.
Those are some really good.
Top end shit. The reason my feet are still bleeding because I wore those fucking $12 fucking heels here.
Even if you find them, I'm not putting them back on.
Oh, shit, no.
I'm fucking barefoot.
I'll put those in my hands and walk in the handstand.
So there's a lot of concern on what they're going to do with us.
Yeah, quite the predicament.
Yeah.
You can't stay here, but you can't leave here without shoes, and you have no shoes. What the fuck?
And in the meantime, Jesse's still just puking. So I'm like, look, what do you want to do? Do you want to just let her keep puking on people, or do you want to let me walk her out of here barefoot? I don't really know how they finally decided to let me go, but...
Poor Jesse, dude. Just vomiting in front of the fucking security because you didn't have your fucking shoes.
So we walked back to the room.
Nasty.
I never did get my shoes. So that was the first time I saw
a portion of Justin Timberlake's show. This time you got to see more of Justin Timberlake at BottleRock.
Yes, but to your point about me wearing Britney Spears, I don't know what it is about Justin Timberlake. I'm captivated by him. I can't take my eyes off of him.
You fucking dance, man.
But I also hate him. I want to make fun of him. I want to roll my eyes at him. I'm literally I can't take my eyes off him as I roll my eyes at him and go oh, this fucking douchebag.
So you love him.
Maybe.
That's how you feel about me most of the time, too.
No. Why? Why is my love language
very thin line between love and hate?
I want to knock you down a peg, but I also want to just spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah, what a lucky guy I am. Well, he did just get a DUI, so he's pissing me off. I'm like, don't get a DUI, dude. You're fucking wealthy. You can't afford a limo or fucking Uber. Come on, bro.
No, and this is a perfect example of why he bugs the shit out of me, because he gets the DUI and the first thing he says is he's like, oh, poor me. I'm on tour. I can't afford to get a DUI right now. I'd have to cancel the tour. And I'm just like, dude, shut up, you whiny little bitch. But then I'm also like, don't cancel the fucking tour. Yeah. I got to watch you
We
dance.
got tickets to BottleRock.
Yeah, I want to hear you sing. I want to watch you. You're so talented. But God, you're lame.
You are hard on Justin Timberlake. I don't really think it's justified. The guy is pretty talented. He put on a great show. Danced his fucking ass off.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us to the third and final day of BottleRock 2025, which had nobody really great. We're just like, what do we do? Are we going Sunday? What are we going to do here?
We were just like, let's just chill. Maybe we'll go over there. Maybe
I want to see Cage the Elephant. You refer to them as Cage the White Elephant because I guess you thought they were some sort of trading Christmas gift or something?
I don't know why I thought that. I also didn't know that I know all of their songs.
You do.
Turns out that all my favorite Black Keys songs are actually Cage the Elephant.
So they were playing juxtaposed against Noah Kahan. We didn't know who that was and didn't care. Apparently, because based on the crowd that was there on Sunday, a lot of 17-year-old girls love him.
Yeah, we didn't know who the fuck he was.
Didn't
we
care.
they're just like, why don't we know the headliner? Like, we know all of the headliners. Who the fuck is this Sunday guy? Noah, what's his face? And then we were doing our Red Solo Cup walk.
Yep.
I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, is it Teenage Girl Day? And then I'd started to clue in like, oh, this is who likes Noah, what's his name?
They loved him.
And I'm trying to go to the bathroom and like all the bathrooms are being used and there's like one that's not being used and there's like a group of 4 teenage girls taking selfies in front of the bathroom. I'm like, girls, like one, it's gross. Get away. Go take your selfies somewhere else. And also let people into the bathroom. It was a day of me just being like, girls, get out of the way. Girls, come on.
Where's your mother?
Yeah. It started on the walk there. We're in the fucking crosswalk. We're crossing the street and there's these 4 teenage girls in front of us and 2 of them are staring into a phone. And I realize they're FaceTiming someone. So they're looking at this phone screen as they cross the street. So I'm like, hey girls, eyes off your phone. You're crossing the street.
Don't get hit by a bus.
And then one of them says to the person in the phone, oh, I did her makeup today. And then she tells her friend walking in the street, close your eyes so she can see your eyeshadow. And so now one of them is walking across the street with her eyes closed. The other one is like staring at the phone. I'm just like, girls, heads up, pay attention.
Well, I didn't know who we were going to see. I heard her say like, you think I could nab Noah with this look? I was like, oh, is Noah like one of their high school friends? But no, Noah's the headliner.
She actually said, do you think I can pull Noah with this?
That's
And I
right,
was
pull
like,
Noah.
Pull him where?
I was like, if you pull Noah, Noah's going right to jail because you are not 18. So I need to give Noah a big warning. Like, hey, buddy, there's some girls here. They're trying to pull you. Do not fall for it. You'll go to prison.
So we happily went over to Cage the Elephant, which actually it all makes sense to me now because Cage the Elephant is what Addie would call Dad Rock.
Because all the dads
And
there.
all the dads are over there and all the teenage daughters are over seeing.
And we hung out with
Noah.
some Novato dads, some guys I went to high
Yeah,
school
you
with.
knew some of the dads.
So yeah, saw some Novato dads. They were partying, having a good old time. They had some psychedelics with them.
I forgot about this. So we meet these 3 Novato dudes. You know one of them. Like you're broing it up with, oh, I haven't seen you since high school. So you're talking to him. And now I'm with his 2 friends who you don't know and I don't know.
Right.
So we're doing this small talk thing. Hi, I'm Sara. They tell me their names. Then they start acting like paranoid as fuck. They're just like, who are you? How do you know him? And they're just like giving me all these like
A runaround, dude.
yes. And I'm just like,
Like, I answered less questions of Verizon to give my DNA up. What the fuck's going on with this
I was
Inquisition?
like, what is going on with you 2? Like, and then they're just like, are you a cop? No. And they're, are you a narc? No.
Are you a narc?
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then they're just like, good, because we're high as fuck on mushrooms. And I'm like, oh. So then they're like, do you want some mushrooms? And I'm like, do I want to be a paranoid fucking weirdo like you? No, dude, I'll pass. So then I look at you because I'm kind of like, hey, small talk with strangers.
Yeah, I'm bored with this.
Is over. And I look at you because I'm about to tell you, like, look, they're high on shrooms, dude. Like,
Let's get out of here.
That's when I just see you and you're just like, and I'm like, did you just take shrooms? Are there shrooms? I'm like, open your mouth right now. Spit it out. Spit it out. I was like talking to like a toddler.
I feel like you were talking to our dog.
Like
Spit
a
it out.
dog.
Don't
Spit
eat
it
that.
out.
Don't eat that. It's a chicken bone. You'll choke.
Exactly.
I'm like,
and you're just like, nope, I took the shrooms. And then you're just like, I won. I'm getting more fucked up than you.
Yo, I ate those things as fast as I could. I was like, fuck, I gotta hurry up, eat these first. Sarah tells me no.
Yeah. So then your buddy from high school is like, don't shame him. Let him do shrooms. And I'm like, no, I'm not. He can do shrooms. It's just the last time he did shrooms, he ate 17 fucking desserts. And I don't have the patience for that today. Like, I don't want to go eat 17 fucking desserts. So I'm not shaming him, but you're going to take him to every restaurant in downtown Napa and you're going to feed him the fucking desserts because I'm not.
He's now your problem.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around and see Cage the White Elephant.
So we went and watched Cage the White Elephant. They delivered. Absolutely kick-ass set. We loved it. The shrooms kicked in just the right time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And we walked back and finished up our 3-day festival in Napa, California.
We ended up spending a little more time with the Novato dudes. And once they realized that I wasn't a cop and I wasn't a narc and I wasn't going to shame you guys.
You were cool.
Then they chilled out and it was fine. And, you know, I was glad that you got to see your buddy.
It was fun.
So
The next day we woke up, we said, okay, we got to get down here to Tobin James. We're not going to go all the way. We'll stop and camp in Santa Cruz, California. So we drove Tiki RV from Napa to Santa Cruz and we met the world's grumpiest camp host.
yes, we camped at the Santa Cruz Harbor RV Park 20 years ago.
Yeah, in our first
And
RV.
I've been trying to get us back in there for 20 years. It's really, 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 really hard to get a spot there.
Very limited.
And it's only because there's like 8 spots parking in the harbor, basically.
Or your walking distance, you can go to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk downtown. It's a very good location.
Yeah. So I finally got a spot. I was super, super excited about it. And part of the reason I was finally able to get a spot is because they've now come to the 21st century and now you can make reservations online. So you don't have to like call and all the shit. So I get the reservations. With the reservations online, everything is automated. It comes through email. So I get an email that says, you're paid up, you're checked in, just pull into campsite 8 when you get there.
Yes.
Okay.
As we drive in, I see this little whiteboard and it says Kreider 8.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, it's all lining up. And I go to spot 8. Nobody's in it.
Yeah.
So I said, let's back this fucker in.
Now, the unfortunate thing about Site 8, to anyone who thinks they might want to check out this camping spot, and I do recommend it, I just don't recommend Site 8 because the worst camp host in the history of the world is in Site 9.
You're neighbors with him.
Yes. So you start to back out. And like we usually do, like I hop out when you're backing up because I like to stand there useless and pretend like I'm helping you back in.
What you do is you always stand right outside the view of the mirror and do nothing.
Right. And I'm helping you back in. So I hop out and you just start whipping it in, right? Because you backed this RV in 1,000 times now. Like you can do it. It wasn't that complicated.
Right.
So I hop out and now the grumpiest man ever. He opens up his trailer door in Site 9 and he just starts yelling at me.
Now, this is a busy street. Even though it's a campsite, it's a throughway for the Santa Cruz
The
harbor.
Yeah.
So people are zipping in and out, loading their boats up, whatever. There's traffic. So you got to get your fucking RV out of the way. And I was already holding up a truck. I'm like, I got to get in this thing. People are waiting for me.
You're backing in and this man starts yelling at me. The sign says check in with the host first. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, it says check in with the host first. He says it twice. I said, okay, well, we're checking in. We're the Kreiders. And then he doesn't respond to me. And he just, didn't you read the sign? The sign says check in with the host first. And I said, okay, well, we're in Site 8.
Now, I will say this. I never saw that sign. We stayed there for 2 days. I never saw that sign. I only saw one sign that said Kreider 8.
8 with like an arrow.
Yeah.
Like back in here.
Get in here, buddy.
So then he yells it at me like a 4th time. And the whole entire time I'm like smiling and I'm trying to be like, you know. So when he finally yells at me the 4th fucking time, I said, okay, I'm sorry. What do you need from me? Obviously, I'm supposed to check in with you first. Like, what do you fucking need from me? And he's like, you need to check in with me first. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking standing here, aren't I?
Already stated in the record.
Yeah, I'm checking in with you. So then he goes, well, I have to help him back in. Now, at this point, he and I have been going at, you're already backed in. You've already got us plugged in. You've already poured your first fucking drink. You're sitting there in a fucking chair.
I'm drinking a rum and Coke.
Drinking a rum and Coke. Shitter. Yeah. Like, you're backed in. I'm just like, when he's like, well, I'm going to help him back in. So I like look over at you and I look at our RV that's like perfectly backed in. I'm like, okay, do you want him to pull out and do it again so that you can help him? Or are we cool? And then he was just, I'm like, okay.
He was a grumpy old man.
Oh, yeah.
The funny part is that when I interacted with him, he was super kind. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, good. So I think he just hated women. He's just a bitter old man, dude.
I think that he has 1% of power of this tiny little like kingdom.
Right.
And he needs to exert that.
9 RV spots.
Yeah. So it's like this, he's like the check-in process
Absolute
is
power
mine.
corrupts absolutely.
I'm the king of the check-in. You must check in with me first. And I was like, well, okay. So then I was very entertained. So for the next 3 days that we were there, I watched other people like stop and like block traffic and like completely impede the roadway so they could check in with him first. And then it was like a whole process with him. He had to put his boots on. He had to put a hat on. He had to put his bicycle helmet on top of his hat. He had to get his dog. And then he would ride the bike. There's only 9 RV spots.
Yeah, he'd ride the bike 2 spots.
It would take, these people would be sitting in the roadway idling for like 15 minutes while he...
Which is bad for the environment, y'all.
Went through
Don't
this
let these RVs
process.
idle.
Yeah, and then help them back in. But, I guess they needed help to back in. We didn't need help to back in. We were also his fucking neighbor, so...
Yeah, it was tough. Like, man, we're going to be neighbors with this fucking guy. I'm going to be playing reggae all day, drinking rum.
This is like what you get for like paid camping spots, and then you just roll on over here to Tobin James. I didn't have to deal with any grumpy old men.
No.
I was just greeted right away with like the loveliest tasting room associates.
So you had to juxtapose the greatest RV host, my mom, versus the worst RV host, this grumpy old man, within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Things I never thought I'd say. I missed your fucking mom.
Santa Cruz is good to us. We found a really great tiki bar called Macai.
Macai Island Kitchen and Groggery?
On the pier.
On the pier.
It had a moving circular bar. So when you sat on the tiki bar, it actually rotated 360 degrees. You could views of the mountains, the ocean, and they had awesome tiki mugs. One with the lighthouse, which we got.
Yeah.
So we got to add to our tiki mug collection.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, that place.
Then we decided, hey, let's ride our bikes to Capitola, this beautiful little town just south of Santa Cruz.
You fucked me on that.
Yeah, well, I didn't, because you said, hey, I looked it up, and it says it's just 150 feet change in elevation to ride our one-speed beach cruisers.
I said to you, is 150 feet a lot of an elevation change? And you said, we could do it. Which I understand now was a non-answer.
I didn't lie to you.
And I was actually looking to you for advice because you had already ridden your bike to the urgent care because you hurt your fucking back.
Yeah, I had to do that early, first day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I fucked my back up like loading up a beach chair or something.
Yeah. This is starting to be a pattern for you.
About once a year, I like to go ahead and throw my back totally out.
Well, and you like to go to urgent cares when we're on vacation.
Yes.
Are you like a rewards member? Is there like a punch card or something?
Well, I've learned if you want to get drugs, you got to keep moving around the country. Otherwise, they start to fucking track you. You know what I'm saying?
They
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah, they're not talking
They
to each
don't
other.
connect you.
Yeah, last time I got drugs like this was in Washington, D.C. Now I got drugs in Santa Cruz. No one's talking to each other.
Well, I like how, like, before you left, you kind of like were rehearsing. You're like, hey, what is it that the doctors get? What do I like for my back? Like
Flexerol.
Like a Flexerol. And you, oh yeah, that's what other doctors have prescribed me. That usually does the trick, right? And I'm like, dude, you sound like a fucking drug seeker.
Totally.
And you're just like, no, I'm trying to sound like I don't know what I want, but I fucking know I want Flexerol.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride my bike up there and get the Flexerol.
Well, when you show up to urgent care and you look for pharmaceuticals like that, they immediately assume you are a drug-seeking drug addict, opioid addict.
Oh, you mean even though you do your Academy Award-winning performance of like, I think what I mean,
it's a little on the back. I don't really care.
Like a muscle relaxant or something like that.
Yeah. So first thing they do is they just shove a plastic cup in your face. They go, you got to pee in this. And I was like, okay. And they go, are you familiar with a clean catch? I'm like, what? No, I'm not familiar with the clean catch, you know? And I'm talking to like a 22-year-old nurse, whatever. And she's like, okay, what you're going to do is, here's this little wet towelette. You're going to rub this alcohol towelette on the tip of your penis. I was like, that sounds like it will hurt.
Did it sting?
I thought it might, because I'm scared.
I know.
And then she's like, and then we're going to grab this cup, and then you're going to go ahead and pee in the toilet. And once it's streaming, then I want you to put the cup into the stream and catch your urine.
That seems like that would be called an unclean catch.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to be the dirtiest catch.
Yeah, that seems...
I'm going to piss all over this cup.
Exactly.
All over my hand, all over everything.
Yeah.
You know? She's like, that's what we need. I'm like, hey, if you want me to come back here and hand you a piss cup fucking covered in piss,
just wet,
that's your shitty job. Sorry. So I go in the bathroom, I do my clean catch, I leave my warm cup of piss behind with no opioids in it.
Did you wash your hands really good?
Of course.
Okay.
I piss clean. They make you sit in the waiting room long enough to test your pee. Then they'll bring you in and they go, okay, what's your problem? Like, I got a little tight in the back, lower back. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, right, buddy. You're fucking here for opioids. So then they grab me. This happens to me every time. As soon as they grab my lower back and they touch it, they go, oh, you are super stiff. So my doctor's like, okay, you know, have you used anything in the past? I'm like, I've had, I think it's called Flexerol or something.
Yeah,
She's like,
there you go.
She goes, what do you have? Like 5 or 10? I'm like, I don't even know. I have no idea. Like, you know, she goes, I'm going to give you the 10s. I was like, hell yeah, you are. Fuck yeah.
You didn't want to like ask for the 15.
And then she's like, do you want to go to Walgreens, or we actually have our own private drugstore upstairs? I'm like, the private one, because I know they don't communicate with each other. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the private one upstairs.
Oh, okay. You're
up there.
You're getting into this now.
Bang, came out of there with a fucking fresh prescription, rode my bike home and popped myself a Flexerol and started that party in Santa Cruz.
And how does your back feel now a few days later?
Much better.
Much better.
Because I've learned that when I do a combination of drugs, which is the Flexerol I get legally, and then I take your Mexican tramadol, which is illegal, together, that is a prescription for a party.
I have taken pity on you. I mean, because you can barely walk. So I have shared some of my Mexican tramadol with you. You've taken to it nicely.
It's a good party.
Yeah.
So I said, let's ride our bikes to Capitola. And you said, is 150 feet a lot?
Yeah, because I was looking at you like, hey, you know, you just did this with a back injury. So can I do this without a back injury, just like a normal person? And you were just like, well, let's see.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
So we start riding our bike. Now, our campsite at the harbor is like a direct line to Capitola, which is easy.
A direct line over
mountain.
Many.
Now, to be clear, on the Tiki RV, we have 2 one-speed heavy beach cruisers on the back. From Huntington Beach Bicycle Company, which we love their bikes, but they're not really like road bikes or mountain bikes or geared bikes. They're just
beach
flat
cruisers.
Land beach cruisers.
But we were on the beach. I just
by the beach, man.
know that Santa Cruz and Capitola was the most hilly beach.
What you know about Santa Cruz is the Santa Cruz Mountains. Now, it is confusing. The word cruise is in the name, Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
There's nothing about beach cruising there.
No.
So we start going over the mighty hills of a 150-foot climb. Not good. Now, I'm going to give you credit where credit is due. You made it. barely. We get to the top of the peak, and now we can see the ocean, and now it's a downhill ride into Capitola.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to cruise into Capitola. And you say, no. Why don't we just lock our bikes here at the top of this hill, and we'll walk down to Capitola, and then we'll walk back up the hill and coast our bikes back to the harbor. Fuck, you're smart.
I really did have to woman-splain it to you, though, because I was like, no, let's just park our bikes here. And you're like, no, it's all downhill from here. And I was like, yeah, then it's uphill. Back up.
Yeah,
you know,
come back.
So I really had to like explain it to you with infographs, and I had to mime it.
Well, you were also quitting on me because you said, look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to lock my bike up here, and then tomorrow we'll pick it up with the RV.
Oh, yeah.
You were just going to abandon your beach cruiser.
You thought that it was like, because I didn't want to have to ride my bike back up the hill, but I was just like, this looks like a place that you could park the RV tomorrow and pick up my fucking bike.
Ultimately, though, we didn't do that. We rode our bikes back. It wasn't so bad. Capitola was gorgeous. We had a super fun time there. Went back to the grumpiest fucking camp host in the world. Woke up in the morning, told him, piss off, bro.
Deuces.
Checkouts at 11. We left at 11:01. And southbound to Tobin James Cellars,
where we are now.
Drinking wine and feeling fine.
Yeah.
This Riesling is hitting me pretty good. I'm feeling pretty loose right now.
Speaking of Kreider boys on drugs.
Yeah, speaking of prescriptions, that segues nicely to our story of the week called Loose Molars Equals Loose Morals, published December 3rd, 2014 in the Santa Maria Sun, about our son getting his molars pulled out and enjoying some pharmaceuticals.
Anesthesia.
Turns out he's pretty foul-mouthed like his parents. We found that out the hard way when your 14-year-old just starts cursing at you.
The story has a harsher tone than I recall. In hindsight, I'm like, God, you're really coming down on him. But I mean, I guess that was probably just the first time that we'd heard him use those words.
Yeah, he was so aggressive about it, yeah.
We were just like, oh my God, who is this kid?
Where'd he learn this? I learned it from you, Dad.
I learned it from listening to you.
I know how to talk shit because you talk shit all the time.
Now, I will say this in his defense. As someone who just got a molar pulled and only had one tooth's worth of gauze, the fucking gauze is really fucking annoying.
It'll drive you mad.
Yeah, like fuck
He's
this
just like,
gauze.
I want it out of my face.
Yeah. When you picked me up this last time, even that was the first thing, it was just like, let me spit out this fucking gauze. Yeah.
Yeah, as Gus was spitting bloody gauze all over the doctor's office and the parking lot, like the nurses were done with him.
So you picked Gus up, and so I don't remember, because it's your story, not mine. You know, yeah, you brought him home. I picked Addie up. When Addie got her wisdom teeth taken out and I drove her home, she just cried the entire time and told me how much she loves me.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. She was just like a little drunk girl. She was just like, I love you so much. And I'm like, I know, sweetheart. Thank you. I love you too. And she's, no, you don't know how much I love you. Yes, I do, honey. Just, we're almost home. Like, we're going to get you some applesauce.
Applesauce.
So she was full of tears and love, and Gus was just
full of vulgarity.
Get this fucking gauze out of my mouth. You know what that tells us is that that's how he spoke all the time. He just filtered it for us.
He was a nice boy who liked Thomas the Tank Engine. I didn't know he had such a foul mouth.
The funny thing about Gus getting his wisdom teeth removed is they're like, okay, you got to be on a soft diet. Like, you can eat like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. And he's like, I don't eat mashed potatoes. Like, I eat mac and cheese. Like, don't make me eat more soft stuff. I just eat mac and fucking cheese. That's what I eat.
This should probably be a study on him. Can you survive on mac and cheese alone? And Gus is proof in the pudding. He ate just mac and cheese alone and survived.
So he was the only person whose diet, his regular diet, wasn't restricted by his wisdom teeth extraction.
He's like, great. My parents stopped giving me grief trying to feed me fucking fruit and shit. I'll just eat this mac and cheese happy as a clam.
My mom will microwave it for me instead of making me do it myself.
Make me some fucking mac and cheese.
Yeah. Take this gauze out and make me some fucking mac and cheese. Fucking mac, Mom. Give it to me.
Let's fucking go. Don't forget the cheese.
So, yeah, that was Gus coming out of anesthesia.
For sure. So the Kreider boys, they like their pills. And, here we are at Tobin James drinking wine. This is the wine episode. So I want to thank the staff here at Tobin James Cellars for giving us a good time in Harvest Hosting and hosting us here in Paso Robles, California. Let's raise a glass. Our last few sips of our
Riesling.
And cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.